I love what we saw last weekend, rounds 13 and 14 for the Snocross National. Well, here we are 1 week later, ready to celebrate championship weekend. Just 2 rounds of racing to go tonight and tomorrow, followed by that Amsoil Dominator on Sunday. Rounds 15 and 16. Let's fly through this U.S. Air Force pit walk. So starting out behind me, we have KC Motorsports. Evan Christian swept the weekend with his final finishes, of course, holding on to that red plate. He said no major changes in the program, but there is an added confidence, and that comes with the red plate. We had his teammate Evan Dowd has been plagued by bad luck in the finals, so he's definitely looking to turn things around here, finish the season strong. But of course, Evan, one of our previous winners here for Pro Light this season. Pitted right next to them, we have Team LaValle. What we had seen from them just 1 week ago was arguably one of the best weekends they have had in years. And for sure this season we had Adam Peterson with the win. We had Riley Bester with the win. Wiley Bester grabbed both hole shots in the Pro Light main events last weekend. Andy Leaders, so dominant. And of course we had Kyle Pauline, one of the local connections, fan favorite on the podium on Saturday night. So all in all, great weekend for Team LaValle Polaris. Pitted just in front of them, Anderson Racing. One of the biggest storylines this weekend is pro women. We have Maylene Anderson, who is battling Anderson Racing's Megan Brodeur. They're currently tied. Now, one thing that was a bit frustrating just last weekend for Megan Brodeur is she had blown a belt in one of her qualifiers on Saturday. And had she had not done that, it's likely that one of the scenarios is they wouldn't be tied right now. She would actually have a few more points, but just missed out on a handful of qualifier points there from Megan, so very frustrated. But she's coming into this weekend, of course, 3-time champ. She is looking to claim that unprecedented 4th championship for pro women. No one's been able to do that before. So pro women this weekend, specifically between Brodeur and Maylene Anderson, it's definitely going to be a hot one. So keep your eyes peeled. Right next to them, we have Thien Motorsports. Emmerich Legendre, he has been consistently on the podium, kind of setting the world on fire. He's up there in the championship conversation for the sport division. I believe he's sitting comfortably in the top 5 right now. So keep an eye out for Emmerich in the team. Pitted just beyond them, we have Judnick Racing and Judnick Motorsports. And for them, lots of notes on Judnick. Nick Lorenz, Saturday, he goes out and gets his 5th top 5 of the season. He did start further back on Saturday, but he was able to find speed where others hadn't. And of course, we know Nick Lorenz, 572, went out and won on Friday night. That was his first win and his first race actually back post-injury, so absolutely incredible run for Nick. We also have Emil Haar, who just behind 5th in points. He's actually 10 points behind 5th in pro points. He does currently sit 7th, so 2 spots back. He is looking to breach that top 5 here with the final weekend. He's really found a late season stride. Emil Haar, one of their pro riders, the pro rider for the team. And Carson Ulreed. It's been a tough couple of weekends for him. He finished off of the box in ERX2 a few weeks ago. He finished off the box both nights as well last weekend, yet he still finds himself 4th in pro light points. So again, one of our pro rookies. So that just shows you how strong of an early season he's had to give him that comfortable cushion. But Carson Ulreed, one of the riders looking to make a big comeback and a statement here this weekend. Pitted just in front of them, we have some eyes in the sky up there. Take a look. We have Jesse in the team overlooking the track here. Have great visibility. You see the 113 sled, Dominic Hegman, who is leading points in 2 of the junior classes. So with Jordan LaBelle being out, they picked him up. So new face to the team. Speaking of Jordan LaBelle, I don't know if he'll be around this weekend. Of course, he broke his wrist in a practice crash a few weeks ago at ERX Motor Park. I was messaging with his dad, Janitin, just yesterday. I said, how's Jordan doing? And he's like, things are going well. They're actually getting the motocross bike ready. So that's a promising sign for Jordan LaBelle. And who can forget, Elias Ishol, number 200, has a solid cushion heading into this weekend. Oh, look who it is. Alex Fortune, just flaunting around. Big tech guy, Alex Fortune. But anywho, back to Elias Ishol. Comfortable cushion heading into this weekend, 75 points to be exact, over 2nd place Francis Pelletier, who we'll talk about in just a moment. Elias Ishol said he is not happy with his performance last weekend. Friday night he was telling me that he just struggled with this track. He was overthinking it, overshooting it. That was very difficult. And then on Saturday night, he was leading the race. He had gained the lead, and about 30 seconds later, He makes a mistake, goes off the track, goes for a swim just past the Amsoil finish line. But what was really impressive, and he said he actually had fun doing it, is one of our hard chargers, Elias. He worked his way back up to a 6th place finish. So very good run, even though he is not super happy with this weekend. He did break a bit of a streak, he says. It's been the first time in a couple seasons he's not won at least one night on the weekend. So tough for Elias, but you know, he's a defending champ for a reason and leading those points. So very excited to see what Elias is going to do this weekend. On to Warner Racing. Now, Dan Benham, he led 12 of 17 laps. Again, we're not going for lap counts. In the pro final, it's 10 minutes plus 2 laps, but it ended up being about 17 laps. Dan Benham led 12. Great run for him. He kind of fell back a little bit towards the end, ended up finishing 5th. So all in all, a strong run, but it was really great to see Dan Benham running up front there. And Francis Pelletier, man, he made things exciting. So Francis, on the start, there was some mayhem. He actually had plastic hanging off the sled that was hitting him. He had to rip that off, and he had charged his way from near the back of the pack all the way up to 2nd. So I know Francis, he was surely hoping for just a few more laps, and I think he may have been able to get this thing done. But also up on the box, Hunter Patnode on Saturday. We'll get to him in just a moment. Kind of hopping around here, my apologies. We have Henches racing here. Cody Cam back in action, feeling great this weekend. Good to have him back into the mix. And the man of the weekend last weekend, Oscar Norum. Dreams were made, dreams were realized. We had Oscar Norum with his first career win. He went 1-1-1 on Saturday, or excuse me, 1-1-1 on Friday. He followed that up with a win again on Saturday in just commanding fashion. Oscar Norum just, it was his weekend. So now he has a taste of what it takes to win. He's been up on the podium numerous times this season. So it's really great to see that from one of our Swedish riders in the field. Hi, Tony Fratellone. Logan Fratellone on the front of the quad there, hauling it back to the Fratellone Racing trailer. Now on to Shearing Speed Sports. Now, the number 8, Hunter Patnode, and number 13, Lincoln Lemieux, continued great hole shots from both of these gentlemen in both the finals and the qualifiers. Patnode, like we had talked about, was back on the box on Saturday. Pitted right across from them, we have Zanstra Motorsports. Now, the fastest lap of the weekend for both of the pro finals, that was Jacob Yerk. Great run for Jacob. He was so sick heading into last weekend, or he's actually on the tail end of being sick, had a sinus infection. So heading into rounds 13 and 14, he didn't have any practice laps between ERX and last weekend. So not sure if he was able to get out and practice. It's really tough this time of year. Pretty much everywhere in the Midwest we're hurting for snow, but nonetheless, it was a great weekend for Jacob. He had said on Friday he had I can't remember if it was an off on the start, but he did fight his way back up to 7th. He was showing a lot of speed. And he was our number 1 qualifier on Saturday. That's the 727, Jacob Yerk, one of our Michigan runners. Pitted just beyond his Zanstra Motorsports, Coutu Motorsports. Now Cole says, I still feel like I have a lot to prove, as he bookends the 2021 season here, a season where he had one of his career best finishes, a 4th. So Cole Coutu has been exciting to watch. He's been a part of some battles near the front of the pack. So keep an eye out for the number 21 and his teammate, the 201, Travis Kern. He is just 31 points behind Adam Peterson for that Pro Light Championship. So not out of the conversation by any means, Travis Kern. Travis Kern involved in absolute drag race finishes, and both Friday and Saturday night. Pro Light was 11 of 10, absolutely phenomenal last weekend, and a lot of that due to the 201, Travis Kern. See Bo Tibbetts parked over here. 223, we see, take a look at Woody's racing over there. We had Caden Woody with his first Pro Light top 10 finish of the season, I believe Friday night last weekend around 13 here at the Derby Complex, and his teammate Théo Poirier had a close encounter, too close for comfort, with a few studs. His backside's pretty torn up from must have been getting landed on, so it was a tough break for him, but no major injuries, just a little beat up, bruised up, but Théo back in action this weekend. See Tasha Lang, number 214. We caught up with her. Stay tuned on the live stream this weekend. A great interview with her last weekend, talking about her family's roots, not only with Polaris, but the World Championship Derby Complex. Her brother AJ, who we talked about in the interview, he's helping her out this weekend again. I'm sure we saw him last weekend. So on to Christian Brothers Racing here next. Anson Shield, the lone rider in the trailer here. for the rest of this season. Of course, Logan Christian's still out with injury, but Elias Ishol, we had talked about last weekend how he feels like he's getting smoother, more consistent, better each round. Well, he found himself on the box for Pro Light last weekend, so it was great finish for the number 44 to be back up on the box. And we take a look here, Fratellone Racing pitted right next to them. We saw Tony Fratellone ride by just a few moments ago with his boy Logan. Just beyond them, Freeland Racing, Hilmerson Motorsports, and the old Stud Boy Arctic Cat trailer. It's no longer the Stud Boy Arctic Cat trailer. We see Troy Horvati, number 157. That was the most exciting snow bike race of the season. We had seen Moto 2 on round 14 Saturday. We had Troy Horvati go 2-1 and Jesse Kirchmeier go 1-2. So of course that second moto being worth a little bit more points when it comes down to a tiebreaker. He was able to reign victorious, takes the overall win, Troy. And it was not only that, but it was an exciting race from hole shot to checkered. These two battled it out. We see the Cowboy pitted just across from him. Next, Krajicek Racing, we have Jesse Kirchmeier's trailer in addition to the iconic white bus. We have Stephen Max, who is racing for him. So a few more notes on Pro this weekend. I forgot to mention, I apologize, Elias Ishol not able to make the Amsoil Dominator on Sunday because he has a plane. He has to go back to Norway where he has to quarantine for 2 weeks because he's racing the World Championship in Finland just a couple weeks away, so he needs to be quarantined. And then when he comes back from the World Championship from Finland to Norway, he has to quarantine for another few weeks. So it's a long few weeks ahead for our defending champion, Elias Ishol. Also, Trent Whitwer back in action this weekend, I am most certain. So that does it. Little lay of the land for the U.S. Air Force pit walk here at the Amsoil Snocross National, presented by the U.S. Air Force. Stay tuned. Lots of racing in store again all 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We hope to see you out here. Fans are most certainly welcome, but if not, hope to catch you on the live stream.